Ready? On today's video I have this Toyota Prius. This is a 2010. I'm gonna be changing the front brake discs and pads. So before I start, I'm going to open the brake fluid reservoir. So that will be this one here, and we just need to lift this little rubber here, take it out from this clip, and then you can lift this cover and just open this cap. So I'm just gonna leave it sitting there. If your brake fluid was really high for some reason, just maybe wrap some paper around this here, or try to take some of the fluid out, because we're going to push the pistons back, and that's going to push the fluid. This one is down here, it will push it up, and hopefully by the time I push them back, this will probably go up to the max, which is this line here, and the minimum is down here. So let's get started. I'm just gonna get the car up and remove the wheels. Okay, so I'm going to do this side here. Both sides will be the same, but there's no sensors on this, so they're both going to be the same. The pads I'm using are this here, but obviously check for the correct pads for your car, because sometimes they are all different. And also the discs I'm using are these ones here, Blueprint ADT 343135. And I'm going to start by removing these 14mm bolts here. So we have a 14mm here. I've already loosened it, but we just need to grab this here so it doesn't turn. And I'm also going to remove the one at the top here. Okay, so I'm going to remove this one now. Before I completely remove this bolt here, I'm just going to try and push the piston back with just wedging a screwdriver in there, in between the disc and the caliper. Just pull this up a little bit. Okay, so the screwdriver is wedging against that pad or the disc. Gonna get this pad out. Okay, now I can remove this bolt. And I'm just going to put this caliper just up here, like so. I'm just hanging it in there. Okay, that's one of the pads there. Now you may notice on these pads this little metal bit. I'm just gonna take it out and put it on the new pad. So that just goes in there. It's like a little retaining spring just to keep the pad in place. But before that, we're going to remove this caliper mount, and we need to undo these 17mm bolts. So I'm gonna use this long power bar. Just gonna use my two hands. So those were a little bit tight, but I'm gonna use the gun now to make it a little bit faster. Once you get them out, you'll be able to take these off. And I'm going to wire brush this. Just gonna clean it with a wire brush. And our disc should come out now. Just gonna put that there. Because you may need a little encouragement. I put that just in case it comes out and it falls on my foot. So I just want to avoid accidents. That's one disc out. This looks fairly clean, in good condition. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of copper grease to that. This car is fairly low mileage, by the way, so that's probably why it looks so clean. If yours isn't, then you can wire brush the area and clean it with some brake fluid cleaning fluid, and then put some copper grease. Okay, it's the new disc. And I'm going to clean these, even those little metal bits there, and I'm gonna put it in there. Okay, so I cleaned this and also just rinsed it with some brake fluid liquid, cleaning liquid, and now this is on here. Don't worry, the disc will be like this, and now we just need to tighten these bolts again. Okay. So I'm gonna grab my power bar and I'm going to tighten that. That's it. That's nice and tight. Disc will sit in there. The disc gets held in by the wheel and these nuts, so don't worry that it looks loose at the moment. And now I'm going to prepare my pads for refitting. I'll just put a little bit of copper grease in here. Just on the outside edges there. Try not to get too into there, but that's where the pads slide. Okay, so I'll get my pads ready. I'll change the little clamps onto these ones. So my pads are ready. Okay. Those in place. That's it. And now we're gonna get the caliper back in there. Also, one more thing to check before we get the caliper in there is just make sure these are not damaged. These little rubbers here, dust covers, just make sure they're not damaged, because these are covering the little piston inside of here, protecting it from any water. So if you get water in there, you will get it will get corroded, and then this will stop moving. So just make sure these are in good condition. They should move freely. And the piston here, it's all the way back. And I'm also going to put a little bit of copper grease on the bits where the caliper touches the pads. So just a little bit here. also check the condition of this rubber here. Shouldn't be, if it's torn, then water can go in there again and get this piston seized, so we want to avoid any of that. Also, I'm just quickly going to wire brush this area here. If you find that the piston is still sticking out a little bit, I'm gonna use this to just do the final push back in. Just be careful when manipulating the caliper. Just be careful with this hose. So I'm gonna need my two hands, but I'm gonna just grab it there and push it back. Okay, so to refit the caliper, I just got it in there, and from then we can lower it into the pads. But this, I always struggle pushing this in there. I really need to push hard. So I'm gonna try to do that now. Got that bit in there, but I still have to get this bit in, so we can put this bolt in. So I'm gonna try to push that in now. Okay, so I really struggled to get that in there. If anybody knows of a method, I've always struggled with this model. Not sure why. Either the pads are too thick, or I'm not sure, because the piston is all the way back in. Well, anyway, got that in there finally. And although this is very tight at the moment, as soon as you get the car rolling, obviously the pads will start wearing a little bit, and all of this will be okay. I put that in there, make sure my disc is straight. So now I'm going to tighten this 14mm bolt. And I'm gonna have to concentrate on the other side. So sometimes when you're moving this, tightening this will move, so you can hold it with your wrench or something. You can see how it's moving. So I'm going to do that now, and that will be pretty much it for this. After that, I'm gonna lower the car, we can check our brake fluid, and before we drive we need to just press the brake. Okay, so now we can just check the fluid level here. My fluid is gone up to max there. That's the max just there. So I'm going to close this. I don't need to top up or do anything with that. And just put the cover back on. And before we drive, I'm going to just press the brake a few times. And that's pretty much it, really. So I did struggle pushing those calipers onto the pads. Eventually they did go in, but I'm really not sure why it's such a struggle on this car, this particular model. I'm gonna try next time. I think I'm going to buy genuine Toyota pads and see how they go. Unless anybody knows any better, then do let us know. All comments are welcome. So thank you for looking, and hope the video helps.